Carrot Top burst onto the comedy scene in the early 1990s, taking the concept of prop comedy to stratospheric new heights. Nvidia has been trying to make cloud gaming workable longer than any of the other major players. According to his official bio, the crimson-haired comic, born Scott Thompson, made a big impression when he made his first appearance on The Tonight Show in 1992, and has remained a major draw with audiences ever since. After years of touring the world, Carrot Top settled into his own Las Vegas residency, becoming one of the strip's most successful performers. Its current Geforce Now platform has gone through a few incarnations, and the current one is changing in a way subscribers won't like much. Nvidia is increasing the paid tier from $5 per month to $10. This brings it more in line with other streaming platforms, but the price was Nvidia's big advantage until now. Geforce Now started its life in 2013 as Nvidia Grid, which was available only on Nvidia's Shield Android handheld. Nvidia eventually moved to a storefront model like Google Stadia uses today, but it was unable to convince gamers to buy games and pay for a monthly service. Today's Geforce Now is bring your own games, but you'll need a monthly subscription to have a good experience. Today's changes don't eliminate the free tier of Geforce Now, it's just as frustrating as it was before. If you don't pay for priority access, it can take time to get space on a server to run your game, and sessions are limited to an hour. With priority, previously called Founders, you can get playing immediately, and sessions are valid for up to 6 hours. Over the decades, his act has become increasingly elaborate. A subscription also enables ray tracing in supported games. The $5 per month pricing was a great deal, particularly if you already have a large library of games. When I started touring at the beginning of my career, I had 2 trunks and a strobe light, Carrot Top explained. Geforce Now connects to Steam, Epic, and GOG to mirror your games in the cloud, and it's added support for a good number of titles. There are hundreds of compatible Geforce Now games, whereas Stadia only has about 100. Microsoft's xCloud does a little better by the numbers, but it's a pure subscription model that drops games on occasion. Nvidia is only charging the new $10 monthly fee to new subscribers. Things got pretty crazy pretty fast, and before I knew it, I had a team touring the country in an 18-wheeler with 35 trunks full of props. That, he said in a 1995 interview with the Los Angeles Times, is the result of a philosophy that envisioned comedy as a spectacle. When I was younger I always thought, if I were ever a comedian I'd make it like a rock concert. I wanted to generate that type of enthusiasm and excitement. So, what has this comedian been up to lately? Let's find out whatever happened to Carrot Top. His film career fizzled after his first movie. A 1995 Los Angeles Times profile noted that Carrot Top was preparing to star in his first movie, with hopes to parlay his popularity into a fruitful film career. The resulting film, 1998's Chairman of the Board, proved to be a critical and commercial failure that scored a woeful 13% on Rotten Tomatoes with box office returns of just $181,233. As bad as the box office was, the reviews were worse. Unfortunately, if you're reading this and have not subscribed, it's too late to get in on the grandfathered price. For example, a critic writing for the Los Angeles Times described Chairman of the Board as a shambles, adding, if Carrot Top is indeed destined for celluloid stardom, look for a lot of film critics and movie projectionist jobs to open up in the coming years. Mystery Science Theater 3000's Michael J. Founders who cancel will only be able to re-subscribe at the higher $10 rate. In addition to the pricing change, Nvidia has announced it's bringing new data centers online in Phoenix, Arizona and Montreal, Canada. Nelson, writing for Cracked, included Chairman of the Board on his list of the 5 worst comedies of all time. Even Carrot Top himself couldn't muster up much enthusiasm for his own big-screen debut. It's a cute little movie, he told the AV. This should help keep latency low for anyone in these general regions. The service is also now available in Turkey, and it will expand to Saudi Arabia and Australia soon. Now read. Club in 1997. I'm sure it's no Academy Award-winning movie. It's not even a Jim Carrey movie. I think it's basically just a movie. Carrot Top has learned to ignore the haters. Carrot Top's popularity was something of a double-edged sword in his early days of success. While his fan base grew, so too did his detractors, particularly among fellow comedians. As his 1995 Los Angeles Times profile pointed out, Comics such as the late Bill Hicks and Saturday Night Live alum Dennis Miller mocked him, while Dom Herrera said, "I don't consider him a stand-up.
I consider him a clown." 2 decades later, in an interview with Esquire, Carrot Top admitted he used to be stung by comments like that, but over time he's learned to slough them off. "I can be out in a restaurant and I can see people talking ***T, nasty, and it really used to bother me. Now I kind of soak it in. I've learned that a lot of times I think they're saying horrible things and they're not," he explained. Carrot Top also reminds himself of the comedians who have professed to enjoy his act. "When people make fun of me, I used to always say, you know what, George Carlin King liked me. And Jay Leno likes me. And Bill Maher likes me," he said. "I always had that in the back of my head." The comic got totally jacked, but denied claims of steroid use during the early part of the 2000s. Carrot Top became interested in bodybuilding. He pursued his hobby with gusto, eventually looking more like a red-headed Mr. Universe contestant than the prop comic of old. Given his massive musculature, there were whispers of steroid use. Confronted with the rumors during a 2014 interview with Penn and Teller's Penn Jillette, Carrot Top insisted he was steroid-free. "I just worked out like a crazy man," he told Gillette of how he managed to become so big. Quote, "I also did all the supplements, all the creatines, glutamines, all that stuff," the comedian added. "I did everything but steroids. I did stuff that you could buy at GNC, but I ate tons of it." As Carrot Top told Esquire in 2015, "I wasn't as big as people made me out to be, but I was bigger than they wanted me to be, or expected me to be." That's 35 years of working out. "Maybe 5 years ago, I decided I'd worked out enough. I quit cold turkey. Didn't go to the gym for maybe a year. Then I started running. That's where I am now. I just kind of wanted a normal build." Carrot Top's picked up some celebrity fans. While Carrot Top may have been dissed by some of his fellow comedians, that isn't true of all of them. Case in point. Back in 2017, he shared a photo of himself on Instagram posing with Amy Schumer, who had been in the audience for one of his Vegas shows. Meanwhile, E! reported that the likes of fellow Vegas star Shania Twain, legendary comedian Jerry Lewis, and members of the country group Rascal Flatts had all caught his act. In fact, an iconic Oscar winner is also a fan, according to an anecdote Carrot Top shared with VSiN. "I was in Aspen years ago. I was walking along after working out at gym. It was about 9 in the morning. It was misty. And there's a guy walking across the street toward me and I think, God, that's Jack Nicholson. Then I realized it is Jack Nicholson," recalled the comedian, admitting he was so starstruck that he ultimately decided not to say anything. It was Nicholson, in fact, who apparently approached him, calling out, "Top. I've always wanted to meet you." As Carrot Top related, Nicholson was as down-to-earth and as nice as he could be. He's denied accusations of plastic surgery over the years. Carrot Top's fans have noticed that his appearance has changed, and not just his buff bod. When rumors swirled of cosmetic surgery, however, Carrot Top consistently batted them away. "The hearsay," he said in a 2013 interview with Oprah. "Where are they now?" Via HuffPost, began when he appeared on a Comedy Central roast. And one of the comics says, "Jesus, Carrot Top, when are you gonna stop with all the plastic surgery? You look like the guy from The Mask or something." He went on to recall his reaction. "I'm sorry that I look good. I don't think I look anything different than I did when I started, in comedy." While discussing the plastic surgery rumors with Florida Today in 2015, Carrot Top conceded that, for a while I had gotten really big. "I didn't do steroids or anything, I just worked out a lot, and I never had any plastic surgery." He added, "I can see why people would think that since I got really big for a while, but I never had any work done. I mean, if I was going to have plastic surgery, I would look better than this." Why Carrot Top believes he's the Nickelback of comedy. It's hardly a secret that Carrot Top is a polarizing figure in the comedy community, and the decades of criticism is something he's struggled to understand. "If I was doing something that was close to other comics, or was going to make them uncomfortable, or I'm doing their act or doing their jokes, then I could see them wanting to criticize," he told the Tampa Bay Times in 2015. "But if you're doing something in a completely different realm, I would think most people would welcome it with open arms, like, wow, this is something different and innovative and creative, a different way of doing comedy." Given that his Vegas show has been running successfully since 2005, he compared himself to Canadian rockers Nickelback, another act that gets constantly slagged despite being massively popular. You go to a Nickelback concert, and it's packed, and they're killing it, and you get done, and you're like, How could people make fun of Nickelback? It's an awesome show, Carrot Top said. A lot of it has to do with animosity and whatnot, which is always understandable in this business. Other film and TV roles included meeting his end in a Sharknado sequel. While Carrot Top's film career may have begun and ended with chairman of the board, he's still managed to make occasional guest appearances in film and television. Among these was a brief cameo in Sharknado 4. The Fourth Awakens, playing an Uber driver who drops off shark fighting protagonist Finn, Ian Ziering, at his Vegas hotel. Carrot Top appears a bit later in the movie when he's swallowed by a shark, something that he insisted be added to the script. I showed up on the set, and I played an Uber driver. They said, that's a wrap on Carrot Top, and I'm like, wait a minute. Am I not getting eaten? And director Anthony Ferranti is like, do you want to get eaten? And I'm like, the whole reason anyone would want to be on Sharknado is to get eaten. Carrot Top told Click Orlando. So he's like, all right. Set up Carrot Top's shark attack. A guy comes out with a ladder, and he climbs the ladder with a camera. He goes, action. And I just tumble around on the hood of a car. And he goes, all right. There you go. You got eaten. Carrot Top became a Las Vegas legend. Carrot Top began his residency at the Luxor in Las Vegas back in 2005. Since then, he's gone on to perform more than 200 shows a year. But as he told Click Orlando in 2020, he was initially reluctant about the Sin City. When I first got the offer to do it, I turned it down. I was like, I don't want to be in Vegas. That's where old guys go to die, the comedian explained. Then I took the gig, and I've slowly turned into, I can't imagine not doing this here. Speaking with Las Vegas Magazine after signing a deal that would keep him at the Luxor until 2025, Carrot Top admitted, I definitely didn't imagine I'd have this kind of staying power. Vegas crowds are a different kind of audience from what I was used to on the road, where people would come specifically to see me. He added, starting in Vegas, I was the sideshow in a sense. If you couldn't get into Cirque du Soleil, maybe you'd go see Carrot Top. And then I slowly became more comfortable with how to work a Vegas audience, which is people from all over the country and all over the world, really. It's taken years to get it down. His house in Vegas shares a surprising connection to Celine Dion. As a resident of Las Vegas, Carrot Top owns a home there, and it shares a connection with another performer who's long been associated with Sin City, Celine Dion. According to a 2015 profile in Esquire, Carrot Top's house was constructed by the same builder who built Celine Dion's palatial desert estate, with the outlet adding that, in fact, materials left over from the larger job, including pilfered floor tile and the kitchen's rustic beams, made it into the comedian's home. According to Celebrity Detective, Carrot Top reportedly purchased the place back in 2006, paying a hefty $1.9 million. The home apparently boasts more than 4,300 square feet of living space in which he can putter around, including a spacious swimming pool, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and more. Interestingly enough, when the French-Canadian Chanteuse temporarily ended her Las Vegas residency in August 2014, she became the punchline for a Carrot Top zinger on social media. Well, I guess Celine Dion is now Celine Dioff, he tweeted. Prop comedy has made Carrot Top shockingly wealthy. While estimates of Carrot Top's wealth have varied, List 25 pegged his net worth at $75 million. While Celebrity Net Worth offered an estimate of $70 million, there's no denying that Carrot Top has made a lot of money since he first took to the stage of the Luxor in 2005. In fact, hunkering down in Vegas is the primary reason why Carrot Top is so rich. According to a 2012 piece in the New York Times that compared the salaries of different comedians, comics on the lower rungs of the comedy ladder can spend a year or more building up an act that could eventually earn them a Comedy Central special, for which they're paid $15,000. For Carrot Top, performing 6 nights a week at the Luxor has proven to be a far more lucrative proposition. In 2020, the Luxor announced that it had renewed Carrot Top's deal and extended his run for 5 more years. While the amount he was being paid wasn't made public, it's easy to assume that by the time 2025 rolls around, Carrot Top's net worth will be even higher. One of his comedy props was ripped off and sold as an actual product. Carrot Top spends a lot of time coming up with his wacky stage props, which often serve as visual punchlines when he performs on stage. One of these props, however, actually found life outside his act.
1. Idea. That someone stole and actually took the idea from me, he claimed in a 2020 interview with the Chicago Tribune. This purloined prop came from a routine about toilet paper, with Carrot Top noting how some people's preferences vary between the tissue rolling under or over. He added, I know they saw it. I did it on TV 1,000 times. Someone saw it and made it into an actual product." Carrot Top went on to explain, "So I made this thing on the wall where when you put your toilet paper in there, it would flip. You flip it, it would go under, and if you flip it, it would go over. Everyone in the crowd would always laugh and say, 'That's really cool. More of an invention kind of thing.' That one I was pretty proud of until someone ripped me off and is making billions of dollars off it now."